Millwall are one of the most notorious football clubs in English football. However, their success on the pitch has been non-existent. The Lions have never won a major trophy, reaching one FA Cup final in 2004, and they also haven't played in England's top flight since 1990. And I personally cannot help but feel sorry for Millwall fans, who are some of the most passionate in the country. So today we are going to give Millwall a much needed rebuild, as we are taking charge of them in FC24 with the end goal of winning the Champions League. And if you do enjoy the content, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel, as we are trying to get 5k subscribers by the end of the year. Let's jump into FC24 and get Millwall rebuilt. So this is the Millwall team we have loaded into in FC24, and you know what, this team has actually surprised me. There's some real quality in this team. Players like Zion Fleming up front is 74 rated. That is really good for a championship level striker. We have also got players like Cooper, Tanganga and Honeyman, who look really strong. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with how the team is looking in season 1. Now in real life, Millwall have completed the signing of Japhet Tanganga on a permanent deal after a successful loan spell from Tottenham. So our first order of business in this rebuild is to bring Japhet Tanganga to the club on a permanent deal. And in season 1, we do have a budget of £10 million, so we can definitely make this happen. And we have secured the signing of Japhet Tanganga for £2.3 million. And we are going to work on changing Tanganga from a right back to a centre back, which should boost him up to around 76 overall. Now Millwall have actually made some exciting signings this summer, bringing in players like Femi Aziz from Reading, who's 67 rated in game and 22-year-old. This man got 18 goal involvements in League One last season and looked a very tidy player. And they also brought in lower league goal machine Macaulay Langstaff from Notts County. But that does mean we have got an absolute plethora of strikers at the club, and I am sure that Nesbitt has left the club in this window, and we are definitely going to be trimming the squad a little bit in this area. But before we crack on, we do need to sort out the tactical vision, and I'm going to go with the Gengen pressing tactical vision for this rebuild, as I want Millwall to be really aggressive, hot on the turnovers, and I want to really get stuck into teams' faces in this rebuild. And as we know, Millwall's default formation in FC24 is the flat 4-4-2, and you know what, boys, I'm going to give it a go. I really like the thought of having 2 wingers, 2 centre mids and 2 strikers on the pitch all at once, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this gets on in this rebuild. And this is what we like to see, boys. Tanganga's position change from a right back to centre back has in fact taken him up to 76 rated, making him one of the best centre backs in the championship in game. So our primary target for season 1 is to bring a new goalkeeper to the club, and we have identified Jan Olszkowski of Borussia Mönchengladbach. He's 21 years old, 69 rated, and he is very affordable, as the max going to have to pay for him is 2.4 million, and he would instantly be our best goalkeeper. And we have brought Jan Olszkowski to the club for just 2 million, which I think is a great deal. And after the permanent signings of Tanganga and Olszkowski, this is how the team is going to look going into season 1. And I am really confident that this team can have a really successful season in the championship. I don't think there's any glaring weak points in this team, and we do have a lot of very solid championship level players. So here's hoping we can have a really good season on the pitch. So that's our transfer window done in terms of incomings, but there will still be some outgoings in this window. Sean Hutchinson has joined Norwich City for 1.1 million. Tom Bradshaw has joined KA Ghent for 1.35 million. Connell Truman has joined Rakow for 690 grand. Adomo Makaku has joined El Dents on loan for a season. Now at the time of recording, Kevin Nisbet is in talks for a move away from Millwall. It's not quite happened just yet, but we are going to sell him in game. He has signed for Legia Warza 2.395 million, which I think is a pretty good deal. So our transfer window is now officially done. There'll be no more outgoings in this window, and all that's left to do is simulate forward straight through to the end of season 1, and I would be absolutely buzzing with a top half finish. So we've arrived at the end of season 1, boys, and we did actually manage to sneak into the Sky Bet Championship playoffs, as we finished 5th in the championship table. Now, like the idiot I am, I forgot to swap the newly promoted and relegated teams around, so Leicester and Southampton were still in the championship. However, we will now go on to take on West Brom in the playoffs for a chance to get to Wembley and get Millwall back into the top flight for the first time since 1990. Wow. Now, in the semi-finals, we did lose the second leg 2-1 to West Brom, but we did win the tie 3-2 over 2 legs, meaning we will take on Southampton in the final. And oh my god, lads, we have actually won the playoff final. We beat Southampton 1-0 at Wembley, and we are going to be in the Premier League in season 2, but but think we may have been promoted a little bit too soon in this rebuild. Now, the Millwall team is actually looking really good at the end of season 1. I'm really happy with it. However, we have got a lot of aging players in this squad who are going to have to be replaced when we go into the Premier League in season 2. And them players are Honeyman at right midfield, Langstaff up front, Bryant at left back, and we're going to have to bring in a central midfielder as well, as Mitchell and Denor are just nowhere near good enough. That means we're looking at least 4 or 5 signings in season 2 to make us competitive in the Premier League, and I'm just not sure how much our budget is actually going to be, so we're going to have to jump into the loan market and free agent market to try and bring the necessary quality in. Now, when we look at the stats, Zion Fleming was our best player this season, getting 26 goals and 10 assists, followed by Macaulay Langstaff, who had a really good season, getting 24 goals and 13 assists. However, we are going to have to replace him in season 2. So I can't lie, this season has been a roaring success, but we have really got to knuckle down and bring the right players in season 2, and we've got to stretch our budget as far as we can to bring the necessary quality into the club. So we've arrived in season 2 and we have only got 46 million, which means it's going to be a real struggle to make our squad Premier League ready. So kicking off our transfer window, boys, we have brought in a free agent and made a very exciting loan signing. Our first signing of the summer is Josh Brownhill, who was a free agent after leaving Burnley. He brings Premier League experience to the den. He's 28-year-old, 75 rated, pretty decent stats, and he will just help us keep it solid in the centre of the park. A lot of energy as he's got 89 stamina. He has joined us on a 3-year deal. And we have also made a very exciting loan signing, bringing in James McAtee on loan from Manchester City. Once again, experience in the Premier League with Sheffield United. Is 72 rated, 21-year-old, really good potential in FC24, and we can sign him permanently at the end of the season for 3 million. So this is an absolutely brilliant piece of business. And that does leave us with 46 million in the bank to bring in a striker and a left back. So I think we've had a really good start to our business. So it's now time to get into the cash deals, and the first player we've identified to bring to the den is John Duran from Aston Villa. 20-year-old, 75 rated striker. He has been linked with a move away from Aston Villa in real life. However, it looks like he will be staying at Villa Park. So we are going to be bringing him to the den in FC24, and he is very reasonably priced, as the max we're paying is 11.5 million. But I think we can get him for slightly cheaper than that. And we have completed the signing of John Duran for just 10 million, which I think is a great deal, leaving us with 34 million in the bank, and now we're going for a left back. And our hunt for a left back has brought us to Leicester City's Victor Christiansen. He's 76 rated, 21-year-old, looks like a really good fullback, and he once again is very reasonably priced, as a max we're paying is 13.3 million. We are definitely bringing this man to the den. And we have got another very good deal as Christiansen joins us for 11 million. And you know what? We still have 21 million in the bank, so I think we can go out and make a real marquee signing. And when I look at that starting 11, boys, I still think the centre of our midfield is going to be pretty weak this season, as Casper Denor, 27 years old, not really going anymore. I would like to bring in another central midfielder in this transfer window with the remainder of our money. Then I would be really happy with the squad, and I do think we would have a pretty okay chance of staying in the Premier League this season. And boys, we kick off our Premier League season with a massive derby with West Ham United, one of the most fierce in English football, and we did manage to get a draw at the London Stadium, and it was a Zion Fleming 89th minute equaliser. Can you just imagine the scenes? And lads, the absolute cheek of some people, Fleming scores a last minute equaliser against our biggest rivals West Ham, and they only go and try and sign him the next day for 13 million. That is getting blocked, not a chance. So rounding off our transfer window, we're going to be bringing in one more central midfielder, and I've identified a man I've never used before who would add some much needed Spanish flair to our midfield, and that is Fermin of Barcelona. 21-year-old, 74 rated, and getting pretty cheap at around 10 million pounds, and that will leave us with some money to bring some new coaches in, get some youth academy players in, which is really important, and leave us with any spare money to mop up some contracts, as we do have quite a few players expiring this summer. And that is Fermin through the door for 8 million pounds, and I think our transfer business has been extremely sensible this summer. So that is our transfer window done. We've made some really good signings in this window, adding experience and some good youth quality to the team. So this will be the Millwall team that takes us into season 2, and I'm just hoping for us to stay in the division, boys. Nothing else. I just want to see Millwall above 18th place. And we have sold a few players in this transfer window, so I'll run you through them right now. George Honeyman left the club to Salernitana for 3 million. Lucas Jensen joined St. Pauli for 840 grand. Alex Mitchell joined Casapia for 1.5 million. Ryan Leonard joined Coventry City for 780 grand. Rounding off our transfer window, we are now simulating forward straight through to the end of season 2, and I just want to see Millwall stay up. So season 2 turned out to be a massive success as we actually finished 10th in the Premier League on 47 points, 10 points off 9th place West Ham. But wow, lads, to finish in the top half in our first season in the Premier League is a massive achievement, especially given the fact that this season we were hit bad by injuries, which I'll discuss in just a little minute. Now, following on from our excellent 10th place finish in the Premier League, we got to the quarter final of the FA Cup, where unfortunately Man United did knock us out 2-1. So this is how the team is looking at the end of season 2, and it is definitely starting to look much stronger. However, this season we were ravaged by injuries. We lost Firmin for 4 months at the start of the season. As you can see, Aziz is not out on the left, as we have lost him for 6 months, boys. He is now recovered, but his development has taken a big whack. And we also lost John Duran for the last 3 months of the season. I have never known such bad luck with injuries in one season. However, Firmin and Duran will still have big roles to play at Millwall in season 3. Femi Aziz has stayed at 73 rated. He is now 23 years old, almost turning 24. He's still currently injured. His place in the team has probably gone now, boys. It's time to bring in a better left winger in season 3. So after bringing in a left winger, we will be in the market to bring in a centre back to replace Cooper, as he is now 30 years old and 75 rated. I do think it's time to bring in a younger, higher potential centre back than Cooper. Now, in terms of stats this season, Zion Fleming was incredible, getting 23 goals and 10 assists. Really happy with his return. John Duran was having an excellent season, going to 79 rated and getting 16 goals along the way until he got injured. And after that, not many goals at all from the rest of the team. However, Firmin did chip in with 8 goals and 5 assists in 24 games, which is very, very impressive. And before we press on any further, James McAtee's loan is expiring. He's 76 rated, 22-year-old, and we can make him permanent for just 3.4 million. We are definitely going through with this deal. And that is James McAtee in for just 3.4 million. That is outstanding business. And now it's officially time to get into season 3. We have arrived in season 3 and we have only got 33 million, which really does not help our cause. But our primary target in this window is a left midfielder, and we have identified Jadon Philogene, who is currently at Hull City in game. He's 77 rated, his stats look amazing, and he falls well into our price range, as the max we're paying for him is 19 million. But I'm going to try and fish out a good deal here, because we need to save some money for a centre back. And we have got a great deal for Philogene, as he joins the club for 15.4 million. That does leave us with 15 million to bring in a centre back, but I do think we're probably going to struggle here. So as we know, boys, in this transfer window, funds are looking pretty tight, so we are going to have to target players who are younger, lower rated, but have got really good potential, like John Spiliers of PSG. He's 20-year-old, 74 rated, really decent player. And the good thing about Spiliers is he falls into our price range. The max we're paying for him is 9 million, and that is Spiliers through the door for just 8 million pounds, and I'm really happy with this signing. Spiliers is 10 years younger than Cooper, but just 1 overall less, so it's absolutely undoubted that Spiliers will surpass him in terms of rating this season with ease. So after the signings of Philogene and Spiliers, this will be the Millwall team to take us into season 3. I'm looking very, very tired on paper, but I do think we've added more strength to the team. I'm expecting players like Firmin, McAtee, Philogene and Duran all to reach 80 rated this season, which could massively boost our chances of getting into Europe. Was last season just a complete one-off? We're going to find out right now by simulating forward straight through to the end of season 3, and if we could sneak into Europe, I'd be absolutely buzzing. Now hold that thought, boys, because there has been one more signing in this transfer window for Millwall, as we have brought Yuri Regia to the club from Royal Antwerp for £9 million. He's 75 rated, 22-year-old, got excellent potential in this year's game, and we are going to retrain him to a right back to replace Danny McNamara in the starting 11. Now, the signing of Regia is definitely our last signing of the summer, as we have only got £3 million left in our bank account. We've arrived at the end of season 3 and we have once again progressed on the pitch, finishing 7th in the Premier League. We actually scored 75 goals this season, which is really impressive. We were only 2 points off 5th place and guaranteed Europa League football. Now, I'm not too sure what 7th place means for us next season. Are we in the Conference League? Are we not? I just do not know. However, I'm really happy with a 7th place finish. With the right additions, maybe, just maybe, could get into the top 4 next season. In the FA Cup, we once again got to the quarterfinals, but unfortunately, we got a really tough tie again against Arsenal, which we lost 2-1. So this is how the team is looking at the end of season season 3, and it is starting to look really strong, boys. Most of the squad are now over 80 rated, and there's been so much growth across the entire team, which makes my job much easier next summer, as the players that I want to replace are the aging players in the squad, and they will be Tanganga and Brownhill. Now, we are going to lose some experience in the starting 11, but we're going to replace that with players who can actually get us into the Champions League. We really need to sign some star quality who can actually get us into the Champions League, and I just don't think Tanganga and Brownhill are the right people for the job. Now, in terms of stats, Zion Fleming has been insane in this rebuild. He scored 27 goals and got 9 assists, which is really impressive. He has taken to life in the Premier League with ease. So let's get into season 4 and just get some star quality through the door. So we have arrived in season 4 and we've got a slightly disappointing budget of just 45 million. And boys, unfortunately, we have got so many contracts to renew this summer, which is going to really eat into our transfer budget. Now, kicking off our transfer window, the main priority for me in this summer transfer window is solidifying at the back, as we are having no problem scoring goals. And that means looking for someone to replace Japhet Tanganga in the team, and I've identified Levi Colwell, who is currently playing for RC Lens in France. 80 rated, 23-year-old, really good stats and plenty of play styles. However, this could be an absolutely massive transfer fee, as Lens could want up to 33 million for him. We have got players leaving the door, as we've transfer listed quite a few players, meaning we will recuperate some money, so I am willing to spend a big chunk of our budget bringing Levi Colwell to the Den. And Levi Colwell becomes our most expensive transfer today, as we have forked out 25 million to sign him. And after the signing of Colwell, we have 28 million in the bank, and that has been boosted by the fact we have sold a few players. Kicking off the outgoings, Femi Aziz has joined Porto for 5.5 million. Adam Meyer has joined FC Valencia for 1.3 million. Macaulay Langstaff has joined Bristol City for 1.7 million. And Jake Cooper has joined Sheffield United for 3.6 million. And now it is time to focus on getting a central midfielder to the Den. Now, we have identified a central midfielder, and this man looks insane. It's Alex Scott of Bournemouth, 80 rated, 22-year-old. His stats are so good. However, Bournemouth could want up to 32 million for him, which we just do not have in the bank. Just really hope we can work out a deal to bring him to the Den, because I absolutely would love to sign him. And we have got our man. Alex Scott is in for 27.5 million. And I have to admit, the signings of Colwell and Alex Scott are absolutely massive for our club, and I think we've done some excellent business in this transfer window. Now, with Colwell and Alex Scott in the starting 11, this is how the team is looking going into season 4, and I am so happy with this team, boys. We look so strong all over the pitch, and I'm really excited to see how we get on in season 4. Now, we do only have 3 million left in the bank, so there'll be no more signings in this window. But that's our transfer window done, boys. No further incomings or outgoings. We are now simulating forward straight through to the end of season 4, and I am so excited to see how this Millwall team got on. The sky really is the limit for this team. We've arrived at the end of season 4, boys, and we will be playing in the Champions League in season 5, as we have just snuck into the top 4, beating Chelsea to 4th place by just 1 point. An absolutely massive achievement for Millwall Football Club, and this is when the rebuild really starts to get interesting. In the FA Cup, for the 3rd consecutive season, we've made the quarter-final and been knocked out. We just cannot manage to get a Wembley trip in the semi-final, can we? So this is how the team is looking at the end of season 4, and John Duran, 89 rated, he is an absolute superstar. Now, despite the fact we've had excellent growth all across the pitch, Jadon Philogene adds to an extensive injury list that we've once again had this season. This season alone, we've lost Fleming, Colwell and Philogene all to bad injuries, and Philogene will not be fit until October of next season, which is such a big loss for us. That just makes the fact we've finished in the top 4 so much better, as we've had injuries once again. This rebuild, we've been littered with injuries, and we've still managed to achieve our goals. Now, going into season 5, we definitely need to address the right back. Regia just is not growing at all. We need to bring a world-class right back in, fill his position, and to be honest, I'm willing to use the entire budget for that. Now, you may notice we have a 78 rated youth academy player on our bench, Burton. We promoted him from our youth academy at 65 rated, sent him out on 1 loan, and he has come back 78 rated, and he is well in first team contention now, and the rest of our bench is also looking very strong. Now, when season 5 does start, we will have a pre-contract player arriving. Sacha Delay is joining the club from Fiorentina on a 3-year deal, just to give us a little bit of depth in the left midfield position until Philogene is back in October. And unfortunately, boys, we could not agree a new contract with Japhet Tanganga. He wanted to be a crucial first team player still at the club, despite the fact Spilias and Colwell are ahead of him, so ultimately he has decided to join Brighton instead. And Casper Dino also handed in a transfer request, and we sold into to Everton for 4 million. Now, in terms of stats, John Durant was our best player, getting 24 goals and 3 assists, growing by 6 overalls to 89 rated. Fleming, McAtee and Scott all had very decent seasons. Fleming still scoring 15 despite being injured for a large part of it. Now it's time to get into season 5, get a right back through the door, settle into life in the Champions League. Season 5 should be a belter. So we have arrived in season 5 and we have got a monstrous transfer budget of £120 million. So the first order of business of season 5 is to bring a right back through the door, and we have identified a man who is genuinely world class. Jan Kotor of Wolfsburg. He's 25-year-old, 85 rated. Stats are very, very good. He can attack as well as defend, which we love to see. Going to be a pricey deal, could pay up to 62 million, but I don't care. We are bringing this man to the den. Boy, oh boy, this is a big day for Millwall as Kotor joins the club for 60 million, leaving us with 56 million in the bank. And boys, I have just done something extremely cheeky. So as we know, Jadon Philogene is still injured and will be missing for a further 3 months. Now, I saw Jeremy Bino Gittins has only got 12 months remaining on his contract. Is the same overall as Philogene, 84 rated, but he's actually 3 years younger. So I thought, let's be a little bit cheeky. Let's offer a straight swap Philogene for Bino Gittins, and Dortmund have accepted it. So we could potentially be signing Bino Gittins for a straight swap with a injured Jadon Philogene. This man's potential is extremely high in FC24. This actually could be an outstanding bit of business if we can get personal terms agreed with Bino Gittins. And honestly, I genuinely cannot believe we have just pulled this deal off. We have swapped Philogene for Bino Gittins. So we have just got a player who is the same overall but 3 years younger with high potential. That could be one of the best bits of business we've done in FC24. And after the signings of Kotor and Bino Gittins, this is how the team is looking, and that team is looking absolutely outstanding on paper. We are definitely now ready for the Champions League. However, looking to our bench, we are lacking a little bit of depth in the striker position, so I might use the rest of our budget to bring a young high potential striker in who we can develop over time to be a good backup to Fleming and Durant. And we have found just the striker to bring in, play backup to Fleming and Durant, and that is Nicolo Trasoldi of Feyenoord. He's 22-year-old, 78 rated, and the asking price is actually quite good for him, boys. The max we're going to pay is 23 million. I think this is a great deal. Let's get him to the club. And we have just signed an excellent backup striker for just 17.5 million. Happy days all round. And now that bench is instantly looking miles better. So our transfer window is officially done, boys, and we've had one major first team outgoing. Danny McNamara has joined Feyenoord for 6 million. And that rounds off our transfer window. All that's left to do is check our first ever Champions League group. And you know what, boys? It could have been a lot worse. We've got Borussia Dortmund, Porto and Galatasaray. I do expect us to get through this group. We may even top it because our team is looking so strong heading into season 5. There's only one way to find out how we get on though, and that's by simulating forward straight through to the end of season 5. So we've arrived at the end of season 5, boys, and we are the champions of England, winning the league on 81 points, 2 points clear of closest challengers Manchester City, only losing 5 all season. That's our first major trophy of the rebuild, and if I'm right, that's Millwall's first ever major trophy. And what an immense achievement from the Lions. We are the champions of England, and we may as well make it a domestic double while we're at it, as we have beat Luton Town 4-0 in the FA Cup final, and Millwall have completed a domestic double. And boys, we could be on for a treble with Millwall, as we have actually made the Champions League final and we will take on RB Leipzig of all teams. Now in the group stage, we did finish second in our group. We did lose 2 of our games, finishing on 10 points. Borussia Dortmund topping the group. In the round of 16, we had a very, very close game with Napoli, who did win the second leg 2-1. However, we did enough in the first leg and won the tie 4-3. That looks like a thrilling encounter. We would go on to play our second Italian side in the semi-finals, and this was once again a really tight affair. The second leg finished a draw. We won the first leg 2-1. meaning we win 3-2 over 2 legs heading into the semis. And in the semis, we would take on Atletico Madrid, and once again, it was incredibly tight. We won our first leg encounter 2-1, drew the second leg 0-0, and that means we will take on Leipzig in the final. So this is the Millwall team that could potentially complete the treble, and I have to say there's some real world-class players in this team like Durant, Bino Gittins, Scott, McAtee and Kotor. I did personally think this squad would have needed at least one more season before it's ready to win the Champions League. With edged out some really close encounters throughout the knockout stages, and that is testament to this team, as it does look strong on paper, but this final could be challenging. One thing we do have though going into the final is a very strong bench. 4 players 80 rated or above on the bench. Now in terms of stats, Zion Fleming was absolutely outstanding. 42 goals and 12 assists, meaning he got 54 goal involvements in 54 games. That is insane, and we just need to switch it on one last time in the Champions League final at the Civitas Metropolitano against RB Leipzig. Here we go, boys. It's Champions League final time. 2 teams you just would not associate with a Champions League final, Millwall and Leipzig. Let's just get this job done and get this Champions League trophy back to the den. Good ball to McAtee in a decent position. I'm gonna have a shot here. And it's well over the bar. First sight goal for us, and it's never testing the Leipzig goalkeeper. My first ever time, you know, using the 4-4-2 formation. So I'm a little bit nervous. I do prefer my formations where I have 3 in midfield. Oh, that's nice from Elmas, and this could be trouble for us. Oh, what a block by Spiliers. That's very outstanding. Duran, that's nice. McAtee, that's really nice. Across the box. Oh, how's that not gone in? How has that not gone in from Scott? He had the goal gaping. And the biggest chance of the game. McAtee, that's brilliant. Oh, that's a great save. He was offside anyway, but the football we are playing at the minute down that right-hand side is causing Leipzig all kinds of problems. I know, getting with the interception. That's good defending. They're all over us, though. That's could have caused an early turnover. Robbie's got a big chance. Nope. Oh, what a tackle by Spiliers, man. That is 2 outstanding tackles in one game. That was a goal-saving challenge, and we can break here with Bino Gittins. He is absolutely rapid. John Duran's in the middle. Flicks it onto McAtee. What a goal this will be. Oh my god. What a counter-attack from Millwall. James McAtee makes no mistake, and we are 1-0 up in this final. Fantastic ball in from Gittins. Lovely flick by Duran. 1 touch and the finish from McAtee. And that's half time, boys. 1-0 up. 2 goal-saving challenges from Spiliers. An excellent finish from McAtee. 45 minutes away from absolute greatness from Millwall. Just need to see things out in this second half. Give no chances away. We're not getting Fleming in the game as much, so I'm tempted to bring just... Oh no, we've given the ball away in a bad position here. What's... My god, that is 3 outstanding tackles by Spiliers in this game. He's been insane, man. Yeah, we can't really get Zion Fleming into the game, so we're going to bring Tresoldi on. And I'm going to give it a little bit longer, but I'm thinking about bringing Furman off for Josh Brownhill. Have a go from distance. Ah, it's well wide, and now we can finally get the change on. Fleming just can't get in the game, so we are going to replace him for Tresoldi. I think 65 minutes on the clock, boys. I think I'm going to bring some fresh legs on and bring Josh Brownhill on for Furman, just to help see the game out. Brownhill's stamina is outstanding, and that is one of the best goal kicks I've ever seen from Marmadishvili. So we can finally get the substitution made. Brownhill will come on with 10 minutes of the final left. Can't lie, boys, there's not been a lot happening in this second half. McAtee, oh, come on. Come on. Tresoldi, make the move, Gittins. Pulled a... Oh my, that was terrible. That would have won the game. See, 8th minute. Duran. Ref. Terrible tackle by Rom. Getting booked. And I think that could have given us the final, boys, because there's 1 minute of added time left. Once this free kick's taken, I am 100% sure the whistle's going to go. And that's the full-time whistle, boys. We have beaten Leipzig 1-0, and Millwall are the champions of Europe. A brilliant counter-attacking goal is the difference between the two sides, and I have to say a massive shout-out to John Spiliers. 3 incredible tackles in one game, and all that's left to do is watch us lift the Champions League trophy. It will be club captain Josh Brownhill who does the honours, and Millwall, boys, are the champions of Europe. And that is another rebuild successfully boxed off. So just want to say a massive thank you for watching the video, boys. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel, as we are trying to get 5k by the end of. And I will see you next week when we head back to the EFL, but this time we are rebuilding a Welsh side.